If you like riding as much as I do, I'm sure you've noticed a connection between motorcycling and an awful lot of rock songs. But have you ever considered which ones are the best? Well, here is my top 11 motorcycle rock songs. Why 11? Because riders, we like to turn up to 11, don't we? Maybe that's because of hearing loss or something. I don't know. So that song that you're all expecting to be number one on the list, that's number one on pretty much every list, doesn't even make the cut. I know bikers don't like to follow the rules, and that's what we're known for, but this is my list, and then these are my rules. And number one, the rock song has to mention motorcycles or riding at the very least. Number two, it's got to be a rock song because that's the genre I know. I'm not going to talk about genres I don't know. I like to talk about motorcycles. I know them. Fair enough, right? Third rule, no artistic license with the pronunciation of the word motorcycle. I don't care if you're looking for a word that rhymes with pickle. It's not motorcycle. I'm looking directly at you, Arlo Guthrie, and Vince Neil. You're not going to make the cut. So with that out of the way, let's get to our list. The number 11 song on our countdown comes to us from the San Francisco Bay, where an amazing 4 artists on this top 11 have deep roots with. Maybe that shows a little bit of my local bias. After all, that's where I am right now. I'm at the top of Mount Amanam, just outside of San Jose. Maybe it's the great weather. Maybe it's because we have 3 amazing tracks within driving distance: Laguna Seca, Sonoma Raceway, Thunder Hill. It's a paradise for biking. Santa Cruz Mountains, fantastic. Whatever the case, our number 11 song prominently mentions motorcycling in the title, although it only mentions it once in the song, and that's just as a memory. But there is one recurring line that keeps on coming through it in the chorus. I've never felt so alone, and I've never felt so alive, which I think really encapsulates what it's like to be on a motorcycle, right?
And I've never been so alive.
It's Third Eye Blind from their 6 times platinum 1997 debut, Motorcycle Drive-By, a song that starts off slowly, but it picks up and gains momentum and gains momentum. It's perfect for transitioning from a cruise right into the twisty mountains. At number 10, we have a man once hailed as the godfather of grunge, and that was a big deal. He's another Bay Area guy, although I'm sure most people know that he was born in Canada. He has spent the majority of his life in Redwood City nearby, and it's the great Neil Young with 1978's Motorcycle Mama. In this song, the protagonist begs his motorcycle mama to put her big spike down, as he says.
Motorcycle mama, won't you lay your big spike down?
Referring to the kickstand, of course, because he wants her to park it, because every time she comes around on that motorcycle, he finds himself ending up in trouble. Now, I gotta say, it's gotta be more the mama than the motorcycle in this case, because as she explains in one of the verses, sung beautifully by Nicolette Larson, she just escaped from county jail, and she's on her way to see him.
I just escaped last night from the memory county jail.
I'm sure the protagonist will learn eventually it's more mama than motorcycle, but he's going to learn it the hard way, apparently. This is a great song, Motorcycle Mama by Neil Young.
Motorcycle mama, won't you lay your big spike down?
Our number 9 comes to us from a Welsh alternative rock band, and it was inspired by the book about biker culture, Rumblefish, which is really heavy on what consumerism is like to us and how we are sort of indentured servants to capitalism. So really heavy topic for a motorcycle song for sure. If you feel like getting deep, listen to the lyrics. If you don't, just really appreciate the melody and the tempo of the song, because there is such a contrast between the content of the lyrics and the way they're sung. It's it's just a great song altogether. I really enjoyed that dichotomy there. Our number 9 song is Motorcycle Emptiness by Manic Street Preachers. At number 8 is the third appearance by a Bay Area rock band. I'm keeping count so you don't have to. It is the legendary punk band Rancid out of Berkeley, California. Clocking in at just 1 minute and 20 seconds, the song is over before you know it, but it does pack a heck of a punch in that short period of time. The song appears on their second album, Let's Go, and it actually has some of the lyrics are repurposed and used in a much more popular song that came out a couple years later, Time Bomb. So listen intently, see if you can pick them out. The singer does have a reputation for mumbling quite a bit, so you're going to have to listen closely to that, but see if you can pick those out. Our number 8 song is dark as hell, frankly, and that's why it's not higher on my list, because it's talking about something you should never do on a motorcycle. And the lines in particular are, Sarah stopped living long before she died, a fifth of bourbon and a motorcycle ride. Don't drink and ride, guys. Anyhow, it's a heck of a song, definitely worth a listen. It is Motorcycle Ride by Rancid. At number 7, it's a debut song from a debut album that won a Grammy for Best Album. And it came out in 1980. This song reached number 2 on the charts and stayed there for 4 weeks. It just couldn't unseat the very popular number 1 song at the time, Call Me, from Blondie, from the American Gigolo soundtrack. Now, ironically, the B-side for the song I'm talking about was called Minstrel Gigolo, which is a pretty weird coincidence right there. So this singer is synonymous with what we now call yacht rock. Back in the day, it was called album-oriented rock, AOR for short. Some called it West Coast style. And this song is anything but, really. It is pretty dark. The singer talks about being the son of a lawless man, and he is on the run. He has gunned down 10, and he's on his 9th life. He's got to make it to the border of Mexico. He's got to ride like the wind. With a little help from Michael McDonald, it's Christopher Cross. Next up, they got to run to keep from hiding, and they're going to keep on riding. At number 6, it is the Allman Brothers Band. Now, you can find some other variations on this song, and a couple of them are quite good. I think Kenny Wayne Shepherd's version of it is excellent. Of course, it's a little more guitar focused, and maybe the vocals aren't quite as good. And then there's a Hank Williams Jr. version, which countries it up a little bit, but it is sort of a country rock song to begin with. Midnight Rider, of course, by the Allman Brothers Band. Legendary song, and it's possibly the oldest song on here. Comes from 1970. Now, the Allman Brothers hail from Macon, Georgia, which is a place I've had the good fortune to visit. So if that is on your way, so some long ride that you're taking, stop in Macon, check out this little town. It's got a great history of music. Little Richard was from there. He was not taken upon kindly by the residents at the time, but he is revered today. And the Allman Brothers. And go to H&H Soul Food. There's a fantastic mural that I'm going to show here on the screen. It's got the original founders on it, and it's got a mural of the Allman Brothers Band sitting inside the restaurant having a meal. It's nice. It's really great. Take your picture outside of that. Go in, have yourself some lunch at H&H Soul Food because the food is fantastic. You're gonna just like have a great time looking at these genuine article pictures that are on the walls. To quote Marshawn Lynch, I'm not sure if it's the ambiance or the decor. It's a great restaurant, and of course, check out the song. Midnight Rider by the Allman Brothers Band. It's awesome. At number 5, we have an artist who has had a very long career. He's had multiple big hits with multiple bands, alternating between band, solo career, band, solo career. This one was actually the first song that he ever wrote, he says. So, and is the debut single from the band Montrose. It is Bad Motor Scooter, written by Sammy Hagar.
And there's a red bridge in Oxabay, yeah.
So they had the song mostly recorded in the studio, and this is an interesting fact, I thought, because we're going to hear this more as we go along on the list. They wanted a hook to kind of draw people in at the beginning of it. And the famous producer Ted Templeman, who also produced a lot of Van Halen stuff, by the way, coincidentally, I suppose, was looking for a hook for it. And Ronnie Montrose picked up his slide guitar and started simulating a motorcycle going through the gears. And this is the first time on our list that we're going to hear this. It starts off the song, it kicks it off. But it's not the last time we're going to hear this in our list. So it is Bad Motor Scooter by Montrose.
You get on your bad motor scooter and ride.
Now, it would have been 1 or maybe number 2. There's just the one nitpick that I have with the song, and it's the word scooter. Why couldn't you have said motorcycle, Sammy? I get it. It's your song. It's still badass. But that's why it's not further up on our list. Definitely check it out, though. Bad Motor Scooter.
Get on your bad motor scooter.
All right, the number 4 song on our list is inspired by and largely about a epic motorcycle trip that the artist took. He started off in Mackinac City, and he is noted for being from Michigan, and ending up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which is one heck of a trip. Now I'm going to read you the quote because I don't want to misquote him on this, as it is a great quote about this song from 1982. The first night, it was 42 degrees in northern Minnesota. The second, it was 106 degrees in South Dakota. And all I had on was my shorts, and my feet were up on the handlebars to keep them from boiling on the engine. It was just silence and feeling nature. And a lot of that nature was heat. But I know exactly what he's talking about. Definitely don't be riding in shorts. But when you know the story, it really makes the song that much richer, I think. It is Roll Me Away by Bob Seger.
Roll me away, won't you roll me away tonight?
Now, Bob Seger is noted, and as I mentioned him from being from Michigan, I think Detroit specifically. He's got a number of certified road song classics about four-wheelers, songs like Get Out of Denver, even a three-wheeler, which if you listen to Fire Lake, he talks about getting on his three-wheeler. But Roll Me Away is just, a lot of people think it's the best song he ever made. It's definitely the best motorcycle song that he's made, and he's made a lot of great songs. So check out Roll Me Away by Bob Seger.
Keep rolling, gotta keep riding, keep searching till I find what's right.
Number 3 is a song that gets directly to the point with its really brief title. Now, you wouldn't expect really an early 80s goth rock band to take an industrial pop turn and sing about motorcycles, but that's exactly what they did in 1989. This is their 4th album, self-titled Lovin' Rockets. And the song is simply titled Motorcycle. Now, I'm going to link to the video below, and it's not an epic video by any means, but it is just panning shots of a motorcycle, and it becomes more and more distorted as the video goes on. And I believe it is and you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, I know it in the comments, I believe it is an 88 Harley Davidson FXSTS. Did I get that right? Number 2 is on my list because it also has a very interesting story behind it, and it's convoluted, but but it's just such a great background to it. And the version I put on it, I like a heck of a lot better than the first two that were popularly available. So this song came out in 1964. It was written and recorded by a legendary surf band. And it follows on the heels of 1963's Honda campaign, which sought to make motorcycles and motorcycling more friendly. And they really focused on that Southern California culture at the time. So naturally, the Beach Boys, with their finger on the pulse of that, picked up on it and they wrote Little Honda.
We're going down to the Honda shop, I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
They didn't release this initially as a single. It was on their album from '64. But certainly the marketing team at Honda noticed and they shifted into high gear on this one. They created a sort of fake group with a fake history and the whole deal. They were studio musicians, and interestingly, one of those studio musicians was a legend himself. It was Glenn Campbell. So what they told him to do was, hey, you go, you listen and learn Little Honda and come back, and then we're going to make an entire album out of Honda-themed songs and use that as a marketing campaign. So they were the first ones to release Little Honda as a single, and it charted all the way up to number 9. The Beach Boys, label found out about this, and of course they didn't want to, give up their notoriety. They released Little Honda as well subsequently, but it didn't get as high as this fake band, which they named the Hondells. This is pretty cheesy. But it's a great song. It's a great song nonetheless. So check out the album Go Little Honda by the Hondells, not for the quality of its contents. There's a couple instrumentals on there that have Honda themed titles to them, and those are probably the best other songs that are on there. Just for the kitsch value, it's worth checking out. But the version that I'm posting on my playlist, linked below, is by Yola Tango. And in the 90s, they had a brief but steady following and a very highly acclaimed album. So they re-recorded Little Honda, and it's got definitely an edgier feel to it than the nice guy surf rock genre that predated it by 30 years. But I think it's excellent. Check it out. Little Honda by Yola Tango.
Faster, it's alright.
All right, that brings us to number 1. And I told you the one you're expecting, if you just tuned in, to be number 1 wasn't going to be it. This song is one I actually didn't know about until I started researching this topic. And I think that's because, a lot of things were happening at that time. It is Jimi Hendrix with Easy Rider. This song was not in the film, not directly associated with the film Easy Rider, but they are intertwined nonetheless. So the original recordings for Jimi Hendrix's Easy Rider occurred in 1969, months before the film released. However, Jimmy did know about the film. He saw an early screening of it, and he contributed his song If 6 Was 9 to the soundtrack of the Easy Rider picture. But he continued to work on his own song Easy Rider, and the final recording was performed in 1970, and tragically he died just 3 weeks later at the age of 27, all too soon. But so the direction he was taking was definitely more of a funk rock direction. And this song is just an absolute banger from beginning to end. Easy Rider by Jimi Hendrix. So as I alluded to a couple times already, the song that you most associate with Easy Rider, maybe the song you most associate with motorcycling in general, Born to Be Wild, not on the list. And it's because it breaks my rules. Believe it or not, Born to Be Wild does not mention motorcycles. It does not mention riding. It is just its association with, I think, being on the road and specifically with the film Easy Rider, that we connect it so firmly with motorcycling, but it doesn't make the list. And there are other songs that do qualify that just didn't make the cut as well. And I'm going to read them off so I don't forget them. But if you have other suggestions, things I missed that didn't even make my honorable mention, I'd love to hear them, because I just want to keep on populating this playlist. I'm linking to them below, by the way, Spotify and Apple Music. So I'll read them so I don't forget. Unknown Legend by Neil Young. So Neil could have had 2 on this album easily. Iron Horse, Born to Lose by Motorhead. Good, just didn't make the cut. Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue, which obviously the Kickstart theme that runs through it all, and there is one verse about custom built bike doing 103. A lot of it's about cars as well. Didn't quite make the list. Thank you for pronouncing motorcycle correctly on this one, Vince. We've got Wheels of Fire by Judas Priest, which is modern by Judas Priest standards. It was a 2005 song, and there's actually another motorcycle theme song on that album. No surprise, it is Judas Priest. And Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf, of course. I'm not a huge Meatloaf fan, so it didn't make my cut. And then there's Riders on the Storm by The Doors, which is a great song, and it mentions riding, so it makes it follows the rule. Though I'm not entirely sure that's what Jim Morrison was thinking about. I think he was sort of on a more ethereal plane with this song than that. But it's a great song too. So it's on the playlist, even though it's not on the top 11. All right. Again, let me know if you have anything to add in the comments, and be sure to check out ulteriormoto.com. We've got a store open there now. We've got some shirts. I'm wearing one now. This is part of our Flagger series. This is the meatball. If you've spent time on a track, you know what the meatball means. You've got a mechanical issue, you need to get off the track. We've got a lapper, we've got some other ones as well. Check that out. And really crucially, we are coming out with motorcycle gear. And our first item is going to be a glove this year, and then we're just going to expand the lineup as rapidly as we possibly can. Check it out, it's a high-end glove. I've been working on this for a long time. I've been in the industry for a long time, so I'm really proud of it, and it's going to be available soon. So check out our store, ulteriormoto.com. All right, till next time, see you on the inside line.